bring in our great legal panel, constitutional lawyer and Trump attorney. There he is, Jesse Binnall. Great to have you with us. And also with us is former federal prosecutor Doug Burns. And continuing with us is the great GOP strategist, John Burnett. John, first your take on this extra charge that is so vague. It's amazing. Even when Bragg came out to reporters, he was like, well, it could be this, it could be that. You're going after a former president for the first time in American history. Why not lay it out there for the American public and the president?
It's amazing. Not only is our justice hanging in the balance, this case is, right? And everyone, both onshore and offshore, they're wondering, what is this extra charge? And why is it actually being secret?
Yeah, it is amazing that it's tight-lipped, and it shouldn't be, given the enormity of this issue.
Exactly.
Let's go to Jesse Binnall. Jesse, of course, you know the president well. What is your reaction? And it's like they are stretching it up to one other layer. I mean, that's the other issue. They're basically having what could be an inflated misdemeanor, and then he's added this other thing to get the felony, and it's 34 felony counts.
Well, yeah, Rita, and thank you for having me today. You're exactly right. This isn't something that we do in the United States of America. We don't have secret charges and try to make people guess as to what they're really charged with, what they really have to confront as far as the evidence against them. But we all know what this is. This is the fact that Alvin Bragg has no case. He has no case at all. Legally speaking, there's been articles written very recently by a current member of the Federal Election Commission explaining that there is absolutely no case at all from a campaign finance perspective, which is the only way that, Alvin Bragg can even try to cobble together a case. We know factually he's relying on the word of a known liar, Michael Cohen. There is so much wrong with this case that it belonged nowhere near a courthouse. It should have never been presented to a grand jury. But we all know that this is because Alvin Bragg wants to politically go after the front runner for president of the United States, for the entire country now, for the Republican ticket, and the biggest challenge to Joe Biden that's out there.
And Jesse, too, he rode on Get Trump. I mean, he campaigned on it. He's right out there saying that was his priority, not getting the bad guys off the streets of New York. I mean, it's an amazing irony. Doesn't that help also on the defense of it? That you could essentially say this is a guy who clearly made that his mission.
Oh, it should. It's a clear case of prosecutorial misconduct and selective prosecution. As I've said, it's one of these instances now where Republicans want to prosecute criminals and Democrats want to prosecute Republicans. It's absolutely unacceptable for someone to run for office for prosecuting, using our criminal justice system to prosecute a political opponent. It is absolutely unacceptable what's going on right now. It's persecution. It's not a prosecution. The good thing here is the American people are not going to stand for it. I really, truly believe that our justice system is so robust that at the end of the day, President Trump will not only be fully cleared through the entire process, but that Alvin Bragg is the one that should face criminal jeopardy for all the laws that I believe he's violated in this process.
And let me bring in Doug Burns. Doug, Alvin Bragg really threw the book also, as what John and I were talking about, 34 felony counts. Why so many counts? What is the strategy there? And also, what do you make of this stretch to give this sort of evasive, if you will, felony counts? 34 felony counts. And in fact, the leak came out that it was 34 felony counts. That's a felony, the leak. Do you think Bragg's office is ever going to look into that? John and I are like, no, that ain't going to happen. Your thoughts, Doug?
There's no strategy whatsoever. When I was in the Department of Justice, we were specifically told, if you have a case, break it down into 2 or 3 counts. I did huge narcotics cases. I charged a couple of counts, 2 or 3. This was absolutely ridiculous. And it was completely disingenuous and caused much of the world to say, one interviewer asked me with a straight face, can you believe he's charged with 34 different crimes? No. This is one set of facts, okay? They sliced it into 34 to mislead everybody. It's totally outrageous to do that. Of all the different pet peeves we've developed over, decades and decades, that's one of the biggest ones, along with superseding indictments. That's another seminar. But so the 34